Hey guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass, episode number 66. And today we're looking at this house in the hood. Well, it's not really in the hood. I'd say this house is hood adjacent, but it really gets at the question of what factors we consider when we're looking at a home that's in an area that's older, has a higher crime rate, lower incomes, etc. There are some challenges to that. I thought was interesting about this house is that this house looks great. I mean, this is a nice house, and when I talk about the hood, really, I'm kind of talking about the more depressed areas of downtown Fort Worth in this case. And, basically, there are some challenges, like I said, if for selling properties that are in these areas. And so, first of all, this house came to us through Fazio Real Estate Solutions, Fort Worth, Southeast Fort Worth rental hold, minutes to downtown, Lake Arlington. It's got a good sized lot, uh, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2,000 square feet. This is a nice house. I haven't looked at the pictures yet, but I saw these right here and they look, this looks like a rent ready house. If you have any interest in it, reach out to Jade Vaughn at 214-646-9646. We have no association with Fazio. We don't make any money if you buy houses from them, but we use their content, and so we want to shout them out. And this is a really interesting house to look at. So here we're going to look at where it is. You see our red pin drop right there. It's in Southeast Fort Worth. And so basically, here kind of is the challenge for this area. This area from Lancaster here, really all around Lancaster on down, Stop 6, Polytechnic, Rosedale, these areas are arguably the most depressed areas in Fort Worth. And so what we see down there is, lower home values. We see higher crime rate, particularly with significant property crime, like cars being broken into, things like that. So it's just a higher crime area. And then the other issue that we have in areas like this are the schools. And so let's just look at this thing. Could you live here? Absolutely, you could. And I think there's many people that happily live in this area of Fort Worth. So it's not, one of the things I was doing yesterday, I was kind of just dropping down into Poly and Stop 6 and dropping the pin. And I'm not going to do it today, but just driving around and looking. And I'm telling you, there's some nice houses. I mean, a lot of them are just small frame houses, but I'm seeing a sense of pride of ownership in these areas that I hadn't seen years ago. In fact, I think I see a lot of houses down here that look like they've been purchased and renovated by an investor because they just look like a completed flip that's in great condition. And so it's not that people don't want to live there or can't live there. There are just some challenges. And so let's look real quick at what the wholesalers said. They said 315 on the ARV on this house at 3428 Montague Street in Fort Worth. And we're going to test that theory to see if the after repaired value might be close to that. They're looking for 192.5, and they basically say no known issues on the big five. So let's see. Built in 1986. This is not an old house. It's a very nice size, and it's on a good sized lot. Like, there are so many factors about this house that make it desirable, and the fact that it's under $200,000, and it looks like it's in great shape, and that in itself makes it pretty interesting, particularly if you were to buy this thing for a rental. But then, as a rental, you're going to have some of the same challenges that you would have if you were selling it, in that the people that would rent it, they're going to have to be comfortable with where the house is located. And I'll just show you. I don't really, as you saw here, it's not that the house is in the center of Stop 6 Polytechnic, but it's adjacent, and it's in this area right down here, right below 287. And so let's see, I can show you real quick what some of our challenges are going to be. First, we're going to verify, is that 315 ARV? Does that make sense? Well, let's see. 315. I'm going to go look on Zillow. Well, on Zillow, they show it at 240. Why do they show it at 240? Because it's listed. This is a listed house. It's under contract. It's under contract by the wholesaler. And so what we're seeing here is the listing price. We also see that it was cut $35,000. So they were trying to sell this house for $275. And it's a fine looking house. It seems like it would be worth $275. But I'm telling you what the problem is the location. It's not the house. The house is great. The house looks fine. Water heater 2024, new dishwasher 2025, roof 2018. This is a fantastic house. You know, it's a great house. When we roll down here, though, we see the Zestimate. It reached about 270, and then it's now showing about, well, it reached 270 because of the listing. Sorry. The Zestimate was around 240, 237, and then they listed it and it went up, and then now they've cut the price and it's come back down. So that's really just how it got listed, and you can see the history of it down there. They actually started this thing at 290 last July, and here 5 months later they're at 240, and they've got it under contract, but it's not at 240 because the wholesaler's offering it to us at 192.5. So the seller has capitulated to the market and done a deal with the wholesaler at something that we would assume is significantly less than 192, and make it worth the time for the wholesaler to work with the property. And so I went around and looked at all the sites like I always do. Of course, Redfin is showing that 240. In Realtor, they showed the 240 listing price as well, but Realtor also has the numbers coming in from CoreLogic and Quantarium, and so I'm going to use CoreLogic's 234. And then I looked at Property Radar, and it was 234, 312. This property is worth ARV around 235, 234, 235. So what I find when I put the address and the square feet in is that's $116 a square foot. That gives me that 234, 235 ARV price point. Now, here's kind of a quick conclusion. We can't buy this house because the ARV, if the ARV was 315, I think that 192 would have held up. But at 235, we can only pay about 164 if the house was in perfect condition. And I do think we're going to find it's in really good condition. But we could only pay 164 with our 70% discount factor, which is applied to that after repaired value. Remember, it's after repaired value, calculate the repairs, apply the discount factor, minus the repairs, you get your cash offer. So right off the bat, we kind of have an issue here in that we're about 30 grand above where we could pay at the 70% discount factor. Now, let's go in and take a look at this place real quick, just for grands, and see if we can confirm. They've taken pictures of web pages. Usually we can't zoom in on these, and they're probably the pictures that are on the listings. And they're not loading. And we see, let's see. Yeah, and so they're on the listing. So I'm going to go to Zillow, back up, click here. These are going to be our pictures for this one. No big deal. There's the outside, looks good. Looks like it might have popcorn ceiling, but the walls look good. It's not a great picture, but texture, I don't see any cracks or anything like that. Here again, I see a little bit of what might be popcorn on the ceiling. Look at that I would say an older couple probably owned this home and they have kept this in immaculate condition. Look at that. The kitchen is nice. That dark stain looks like that door might be a little bit, that drawer might be off its tracks, but yeah, you can fix stuff like that real easy. Countertop looks nice. Nice yellow paint. Definitely a popcorn ceiling. I like that flooring product right there. That's nice. It's just a nice house. I think, other than the popcorn, I don't see anything wrong with it. Now we come into here, and something is definitely going on here with that ceiling. Can't get in there very close to see, but yeah, look at the edge. Not really sure what's going on in there. We'd really need to get in there. I'm starting to realize that there are going to be some repairs, some cosmetic repairs needed here. The bathroom looks fine. I bet that's clean. The whole house looks very clean, so I bet you the tub is clean. I don't know if we'll get in there to see it. It's very yellow. That's just a personal choice thing. I don't think that color of that countertop or the what do you call it, top of the vanity there, I don't think that really matches the yellow very much, but no big deal. It's a nice faucet, nice toilet. I mean, this place looks very clean. Look at that room. Definitely looks like grandma's house with those colors and that type of quilt and the carpet and all that kind of stuff. Here we're looking at, kitchen, dining, living. They've got flooring, probably a vinyl plank flooring product, and then carpet in the living areas. Laundry room looks great. That water heater looks great. It's up to code. It's got the blow-off valve connected. Everything about this is up to code. That's very nice. Whoever lived here had extraordinary pride of ownership. And I don't see a lot of work to be done. But, will people really want that type of carpet and all that? Maybe not. Look, there is a crack that's been patched on the ceiling there. That would indicate there probably, at least at one point, was some foundation issues there. But, and looking here, the other bathroom, I see something that looks a little weird in that corner and that texture. It's almost like that wall has been prepared for painting but hasn't been painted. Not exactly sure what we're seeing there, but we are seeing that it does need some cosmetic. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 1 in here. I'm actually going to take that to, like, I don't know, it seems like 20,000's a lot for that house. I'm not seeing that much. What if we said 0.5 and we just said 10K? We need 10K to come in there and fix those couple of things that we saw, although they weren't little things. Like, I think that ceiling in that one bedroom was very concerning, and then the unfinished bathroom, I think bringing a crew in, you could easily spend 10 to get the house ready to rent, and that's without replacing the carpet or the flooring or any of that, and not really painting over the yellows and the greens and those kinds of colors. So I think that could limit its appeal as a rental if we leave those surfaces. But, as far as getting in here with the least amount of expense on the repair side, you could leave it as is, turn it into a rental. That would bring our cash offer down to 154. Definitely not hitting the 192 that they're looking for. So probably not an investor deal. Would this be a nice house for someone to just buy it at this great discount? I think it definitely could be. I just would say one thing to consider, and this is kind of my final point about being hood adjacent, if you will. And I hope I'm not offending anybody by that, but it's the schools. Well, number one, look at the walk around score, 28. You're car dependent. There's not much transit down in there. It's somewhat bikeable. So those are all low scores on getting around. But here you go, 3 out of 10 on the elementary, a 4 out of 10 on the middle school, and a 2 out of 10 on OD Wyatt. I'll just tell you, if you have school age kids, there's other areas of Fort Worth that you would prefer to live so that your kids are going to great schools. Like Watauga. Watauga is not an expensive community, and they have great schools in the Birdville district up there. So this house will not appeal to people with school-age children. It could appeal to an older couple, you know, a couple that has no kids, that doesn't care about its, you know, the fact that you'll be car dependent living there and all that kind of thing. So that's it for this one. We're going to pass on it. I thought it was a really nice house, and I think it's, you know, I'd love to meet the people that took care of this because it's so nice to see when someone has taken care of their home. And in this case, it's probably a really good value at that 192 for someone that was just going to move into it and live in it. That'd be $50,000 off what they were asking for. But you can definitely see one of the challenges of selling a house here in 2025 is that you may come out hot and then have to drop, 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 and then even then sell to a cash buyer. That's it for today, guys. This was Cash Offer Masterclass episode number 66. We're looking forward to episode number 70, which will come out right before Christmas, where we're going to teach you all about how we really estimate the cost of repairs. Thanks for being with me today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day and a happy holidays. Take care.